I'm Nikita Rana and this is Daily Dope on Tech2, and today's video is about the unofficial but rigid caste system that exists in Silicon Valley. It's a story that was done by The Wired. I've tried to apply some aspects of that to India as well, but those are only my opinions, nothing based on data. So according to this piece, there are 4 classes: inner party, outer party, service class, and people who live on the fringes. The author describes them as the untouchables. The inner party is basically people who are running tech firms, are VCs. That exists in India as well, people who run Flipkart, Ola, Paytm, that gang. Outer party, this is made up of mostly techies, and in India that applies as well. It's mostly people who are IIT, IIM types, people who've come back from Silicon Valley and are working for these tech firms, and they draw very large salaries in India. As per this piece, in Silicon Valley, these people are barely middle class. In India, they're very, very rich. Service class, according to this piece, comprises people like drivers, delivery people, some of whom may make a lot of money, others who don't. I think in India, I describe people in this service class as people who are managers and work for firms. Basically, middle income people, fresh graduates, people who from tier 2 B schools and working as salaried employees. The last bit, the untouchables in Silicon Valley are people who live on the absolute margins of society, the homeless, people who live in slums. And according to this piece, the inner party has absolutely no access and doesn't see these people in Silicon Valley. In India, it's very different. We meet these people every day. They work in our homes, they come and do deliveries, so we know exactly who they are, and many times where we live is right opposite a slum, so we do see them every day. The relationship of the outer party with people is a little funny. There are people who make apps who tell humans what to do, and you know what I'm talking about. You know how you get those reminders from Urban Clap about how it's time to rate or time to get your salon appointment again. It's the app telling you what you should do when. And our relationship with people who work with these companies, the people we see are actually the guys who make the deliveries. I mean, how do you know Amazon through a human? The guy who comes and takes your signature. People from Swiggy, another tech firm. The guy who comes and does your delivery. And very often the amount of the order, let's say if it's from Swiggy, it's about 1,500 to 2,000 bucks if you're somewhere in Bandra and Bombay and are ordering for 2 people. That's sometimes a very large part of this person's monthly salary, and you can compare that even to what you pay the person at home. If he or she is charging you 3,000 to 4,000 rupees to cook in your house for a month and spending an hour or an hour and a half every day, that's the amount that you will spend on 1 or 2 meals when you go outside. So that relationship is more or less the same with people who are in the outer party category, both in the United States, in Silicon Valley and in India. This caste system is pretty rigid. It's very difficult to make the move. I mean, if you're on the fringes of society, it's very unlikely that you will make it to the inner party. From outer party to inner party is relatively simpler, especially if you jump into entrepreneurship and become successful. If you don't, you basically go back into regular employment and work in a tech department at a fancy tech firm. Movement is minimal, the rich get richer, and it's only people from good elite institutions that make it even to the outer party. Otherwise, you just have to be lucky or really talented. Also, non-techies are getting squeezed out, and that's true even in India. I'm telling you, as a person who studied English Lit, it's really hard. There's no future if you don't know how to code. Old money in the property class is also getting squeezed out, and that's kind of true even in India. If you go to South Bombay and you see these fantastic art deco cinemas, many of these owners are not doing so well. They're often old people whose kids are in the United States, and their businesses are not making that much money. Even if you go inside the homes of people who live in Marine Drive or in Colaba, not all of them spell glamour. Some of them are people who've just inherited these homes and are not doing so well in business otherwise. If you found a way to move around in this system, let us know. That's it from me. Thanks for watching.